In Chapter 11 of A People's History, the first economic change we see is in farming. Machines changed farming greatly because they changed 61 hours of labor to 3 hours and 19 minutes of labor. So these machines greatly help farming. And then another thing was steam driving the textile mills, and the steam engines were run by coal. And coal, new drills made it easier to mine the coal. So we got more and more coal. And in 1860 we were to only getting 14 million tons of coal, but by 1884 there were 100 million tons of coal being mined. So that's only 20 years later, and we made that big of a leap between how much coal was being mined. And then another problem, or another economic part of this chapter, was in 1893, which was the biggest economic disaster in history. 642 banks failed, 16,000 businesses closed down, and 3 million people were unemployed in this economic disaster. So that affected the economy a lot, and society. And we see the U.S. government being in a capitalist state in this chapter. They were pretending to be neutral to keep peace among all the people, and they were pretending to be catering to everybody, but they were really only serving the rich, and it was only the rich benefiting from this, benefiting from the capitalist state the government was in. And we see the third party gain popularity because there was still a lot of strikes and protests going around, and farmers had their land taken away and were forced to become tenants, so they ended up becoming an alliance, becoming the Farmers Alliance, and they joined together so they could buy things in bulk and get lower prices, and they boycotted jewel bags and began making their own so the prices would go down because they were so expensive. And then from these alliances they began to spread ideas and spirit together, and they ended up forming the Populist Party. So this was how the third party gained popularity in this chapter. They went from a bunch of people striking against something to forming an alliance to becoming the whole Populist Party. So that's how they gained popularity. And they were able to nominate James Weaver for president. So the Populist Party was involved in the voting system, and it was made up of a diverse group of people. It wasn't just white, it wasn't just blacks, it was everybody there. Everybody in America was a part of, in the lower class and third class, was part of this new populist party. So that's how they managed to gain popularity.